Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Caitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I welcome you to today's Sri Caitanya Charitamrita session. Today is July 10th, 2026. And it is the 515th session of Caitanya Charitamrita. Reading from Sri Charitamrita. The text is when Mahaprabhu, so this is the conversation now between Brahmananda Bharati and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So this is in the assembly of devotees. Mahaprabhu with all the devotees came out to greet Brahmananda Bharati. And then we saw how he made Brahmananda Bharati wear regular clothes of a sannyasi instead of a deerskin. And after that, there's a talk between Brahmananda Bharati and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So Brahmananda Bharati said that there are two Brahmans now in Jagannath Puri. One is Jagannātha and one is Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And Caitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, you are right. There are two Brahmans, but one is Jagannath, the original, and the other one is Brahmananda Bharati because his name is Brahmananda. So one is you after your arrival. Now there are two Brahmans in Jagannath Puri. Not that, Caitanya Mahaprabhu is one. So then Brahmananda Bharati said to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that you become a mediator and you decide who's right. So he said, you become a mediator and you solve this argument or whatever disagreement is there between Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Brahmananda Bharati. This is in a jovial way, in a joking way. So then Brahmananda Bharati began his, he started making his case. He started explaining. He said, vyāpya-vyāpakatve jiva brahme jani, jiva vyāpya brahma vyāpaka shastrete vakhani. So from Shastras, we understand that the relationship between Jiva and Brahman is like Vyāpya and Vyāpaka. Vyāpya means that which is pervaded and Vyāpaka means that which pervades. So, in other words, I gave you yesterday I gave you the example of a pot, sky in the pot and sky outside. So the pot is Vyāpya. It can be pervaded. It can be filled up. Whereas the sky is that which fills up everything. It just goes everywhere. Wherever it goes, it just spreads. It pervades everything. Whatever you put into it, just pervades it. So what do you understand about the two? One is limited and the other is unlimited, isn't it? Vyāpya means limited. Vyāpaka means unlimited. So the living entity is vyāpya, it is limited, whereas the Supreme Lord Vyāpaka is unlimited. So this we understand from Shastra, Brahmananda Bharati said. And then in the purport we saw Srila Prabhupada quoting from Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, Kshetragyam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. You should know that I am also the knower of this body. That means, what is the difference between the Lord and the living entity? The living entity knows only his particular body. The Lord is also there as the knower of the body, but he is there in all bodies. The living entity is there only in one body, but the Lord is there in all bodies. So, quoting this verse, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that Paramatma is expanding everything. So, Brahmananda Bharati is saying that the living entity is Vyāpya and the Supreme Lord is Vyāpaka. Vyāpaka means one who is pervading everything. Vyāpya means one who is pervaded. So, that means the living entity is limited, and the Supreme Lord is unlimited. This is Brahmananda Bharati's point. So, like Srila Prabhupada quoted in Bhagavad Gita, that the living entity is Kshetragya, he knows about his body, whereas the Supreme Lord knows all bodies. He is Sarva Kshetreshu. Kshetragya of Sarva Kshetras, all Kshetras. Then further, Srila Prabhupada quoted Brahma Samhita, where it is said, Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham. That means he is all pervasive. So, by virtue of his all pervasive nature, he is within the universe and also within all elements of the universe. So, he is all pervasive, both outside and inside. That is the point. So, he is outside, he is there in the entire what, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam Prabhupada. You forgot to send. I think I just simply joined and you were there, Mataji.
Oh, I sent in the group, Mataji. I did.
No, it's
Oh, I
not
didn't
there.
send. Arey, sorry. I copied, but I didn't send it. Sorry.
No problem, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
So sorry. Okay. Yeah. So, the living entity is, so the whole point of what Brahmananda Bharati is saying is that the living entity is very small and it is limited, it is localized. Localized means it can only, the consciousness of the living entity extends only up to limited place, just this body. Beyond that, I don't have any consciousness. You know, if you pinched outside of my body somewhere, I won't feel it because my consciousness is limited. Whereas the Supreme Lord as Paramatma is all pervading. He's inside and outside, both. Inside Paramatma feature is Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. And he's there inside of each one as Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, inside every atom. But he's also outside in the entire universe as Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. And he's outside that also, outside the universe also, in the entire cosmic manifestation as Karanodakashaya Vishnu. Like that. So he's all pervading. That's the point. So now we will start today's verse. So text 169. I will share the screen. This is today's verse. charma. So still, this is Brahmananda Bharati speaking to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Charma ghucāya koilo āmāre śodhana doṅhāra vyāpya-vyāpakatve eito kāraṇa. Charma ghucāya koilo. Charma ghucāya. Ghucāya means he took away, taking away. Charma ghucāya koilo āmāre śodhana. That means by taking away the deer skin from me, he has purified me. Śodhana. Āmāre śodhana. Doṅhāra vyāpya-vyāpakatve eito kāraṇa. So now Brahmananda Bharati is saying that again, let's try to understand this. Brahmananda Bharati said, okay, one more step, we'll go one more step behind. Brahmananda Bharati was wearing a deer skin when he came to see Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu and Brahmananda Bharati is Guru Tulya, he is like the god brother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Guru. So when he got news that Brahmananda Bharati is here, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotee Mukunda Datta said, should I bring him inside to see you? Mahaprabhu said, no, I must go and see him. He's my Guru. He's my Guru. I should go to see him, not that he comes to see me. So immediately he got up with all his devotees. He went outside to greet Brahmananda Bharati. But what did he see? He saw that he's wearing a deer skin. Mahaprabhu was not happy to see that he's wearing a deer skin. So what did he do? Mahaprabhu said, where is Brahmananda Bharati? You said Brahmananda Bharati is here. I don't see him anywhere. So Mukunda Datta said, here, he's standing right in front of you. Don't you see? He's standing in front of you. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you are mistaken. You are taking someone else to be Brahmananda Bharati. You don't have proper knowledge. You are not able to discriminate. You are not able to tell. You're taking one person to be another person. This is not Brahmananda Bharati. Why would Brahmananda Bharati wear a deer skin like that? So while this is going on, Brahmananda Bharati is thinking, oh, Mahaprabhu does not approve my wearing this deer skin. And then he thought, yes, he's right. Why am I wearing this deer skin? Simply for prestige, right? Because deer skin is a sign of a person who has renounced this world. Deer skin is a sign of a person who has renounced this world. So, for the sake of attention from people, for the sake of prestige, I'm wearing this deer skin. So we discussed already that deer skin, those who are in the forest, they use deer skin because it keeps wild animals and, poisonous animals like snakes, scorpions, insects away, so that the sadhu who is in meditation, he can peacefully meditate without any disturbance. That's the idea. But why he has to wear a deer skin now amongst people? That is not needed here. So he was thinking, yes, I'm wearing this deer skin simply for the sake of, attention from people so that I'll get followers. By wearing deer skin, simply by wearing deer skin, does one cross the ocean of material existence? No. So from today onwards, I'm not going to wear deer skin. He's thinking in his mind. He didn't say anything. Mahaprabhu understood what he's thinking. So he had one devotee bring the regular sannyas cloth, outer cloth for Brahmananda Bharati. And as soon as the devotee brought it, he immediately gave up the deer skin and he put on the sannyas cloth. At that time, as soon as he put on the sannyas cloth, Mahaprabhu immediately fell on the lotus feet of Brahmananda Bharati, like he would offer obeisances to his guru, like that. And he offered obeisances. Then Brahmananda Bharati said, my dear Lord means Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he embraced him and he said, right. So he said, Brahmananda Bharati said that, there's thundering going on here early in the morning. Okay. So Brahmananda Bharati said that, whatever you do, your behavior is to teach a lesson to others. Whatever you're doing. So how Mahaprabhu said that, I don't see Brahmananda Bharati here. Why will Brahmananda Bharati wear a deerskin? And also how he dresses, Mahaprabhu, how he dresses. Whatever he does, his behavior is meant to teach a lesson to others. This is Brahmananda Bharati saying. And then after saying that, and he said, I'm afraid that I may do something which is substandard, and again you will stop acknowledging me, right? And you won't offer obeisances to me. So I'm afraid that I may not do anything substandard again. Then he said that actually at the present moment, I'm seeing there are two Brahmans in Jagannath Puri. One is moving, the other is not. One is not moving and the other is moving. One is dark complexioned and the other is golden complexion. So that means Jagannath and Lord Chaitanya. So this we discussed, how two meanings can be taken. One can be that he is equating the living entity with the Supreme Lord according to Mayavad philosophy. But the other meaning can be he is actually seeing Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Lord, Krishna himself, Jagannath himself. So when he said that, Mahaprabhu, in a funny, jovial way, he said, yes, there are two Brahmans now. After your arrival in Jagannath Puri, now there are two Brahmans. One is, of course, the original Brahman, Lord Jagannath, and the other one is you, Brahmananda, because your name is Brahmananda. So that's why now there are two. So by saying this, Mahaprabhu refuted or destroyed the Mayavad of theory that the living entity and the Supreme Lord both are Brahman, after all, both are equal. So that point he refuted. The living entity can never become equal to the Supreme Lord. He will always remain a servant of the Supreme Lord at any point, even after liberation. So this point Mahaprabhu made. And of course, if Brahmananda Bharati is saying, actually realizing that he is Lord Krishna himself, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Krishna himself, then also Mahaprabhu, because he's playing the role of a devotee, even when his devotees publicly, if they said you are the Supreme Lord, publicly or privately, if his devotees said that you are the Supreme Lord, then he would not accept it. He would say, Vishnu, Vishnu, never call a living entity the Supreme Lord, like this. So that is there. Mahaprabhu didn't accept in that sense. But now Brahmananda Bharati didn't give up. Now he's saying, on the, next to Mahaprabhu, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is standing. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is a great scholar. So he's saying, oh Sarvabhauma, now you have to solve this. Because Brahmananda Bharati is saying, Jagannath and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu are two Brahmans. That means, in other words, he's saying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Jagannath himself. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, yes, there are two Brahmans. One is Brahmananda and the other is Jagannath. Brahmananda, not because he's a sannyasi, the Brahma, his name is Brahma. So one is this Brahma, like the duplicate, not duplicate actually, like the fake Brahma. And the other one is the real Brahma. So that way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. So Brahmananda Bharati is asking Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, you solve this now. You pay attention, like you look at it attentively and you solve this. Saying this, Brahmananda Bharati is saying, now he's making his case because he's expecting Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to be the judge and give his judgment. So first he's making his case and he's saying, you see, the living entity and the Supreme Lord or Brahman, what is the relationship? One is vyāpya, the other is vyāpaka. So in essence, one is limited and the other is unlimited. Okay. That means one's consciousness is limited to this body, the other's consciousness is all pervading. Okay. After saying this, now he's saying that he, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, made me give up my deerskin. Charma ghucāñā kaila āmāre śodhana. Śodhana means purification. So Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, by taking away my deerskin, he has purified me. How he has purified? What was the realization of Brahmananda Bharati? That it is simply out of pride and for a recognition and attention from people that I'm wearing this deerskin, isn't it? So his wearing this deerskin is out of some material contamination. That was Brahmananda Bharati's realization. And by Mahaprabhu's dealings, he came to realize this and he gave up. He just thought that I won't wear this deerskin anything, and Mahaprabhu also helped him. He had a devotee bring the sannyas cloth and he just gave up deerskin and wore. So now what he's saying, charma ghucāya koilo āmāre śodhana. Mahaprabhu, śodhana means clean. Mahaprabhu cleaned me or purified me by taking away this deerskin. Doṅhāra vyāpya-vyāpakatve kāraṇa. This is the reason why I say the relationship between me and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is that of vyāpya and vyāpaka. Vyāpya means one who is limited. Vyāpaka means one who is unlimited. So you tell me how it is so here, vyāpya-vyāpaka. Because Mahaprabhu could understand what is going on in the mind of Brahmananda Bharati. What he is thinking, Mahaprabhu could understand, isn't it? That means his consciousness is all pervading. And understanding that, he purified the consciousness of Brahmananda Bharati and had him give up that deerskin. So, from his personal experience, Brahmananda Bharati is saying, I am saying there are two Brahmans here. One is Jagannātha, the other is Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? Because the relationship between the living entity and Brahman is that of vyāpya and vyāpaka. One is limited and the other is unlimited. And by purifying me, by taking away my deerskin, Mahaprabhu has shown that relationship because he understood what's going on in my mind and he purified my mind. Vyāpya-vyāpakatve eto kāraṇa. This is the reason why I say that he is the Lord and we are the living entities in other sense. Vyāpya-vyāpakatve eto kāraṇa. So, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu purified me by taking away my deerskin. This is proof that he is all-pervasive and all-powerful and I am subordinate to him. So, you see, okay, let's continue reading. Purport. Brahmananda Bharati asserts that Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Brahman and that he is the subordinate Brahman. This is confirmed in the Vedas. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Brahman or Parabrahman, the chief of all living entities. Both the Supreme Brahman or the Personality of Godhead and the living entities are persons, but the Supreme Person is the predominator, whereas the living entities are predominated. So, the Lord is also person, we are also persons. He is also conscious, we are also conscious. However, there is a difference. Of all the conscious beings, Chetananam, he is the supreme conscious being. Of all the eternal beings, because living entities are eternal, is there a birth for living entity? No. Is there a death for living entity? No. Living entities are nitya, eternal. But of all the living entities, who is the supreme living entity, the chief living entity? That is Krishna. Eko jo bahunam yo vidadati kaman. That means he is the one who is maintaining all the other living entities, all the other eternals. He is the chief amongst all living entities. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Brahmananda Bharati is actually accepting. So he's not, so according to this verse, we can understand that he's saying that Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord and he himself is a subordinate person. So that is why when he said there are two Brahmans, either you can take it as Mayavad philosophy or you can take that he's actually accepting Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna himself, like that. So here we see, when we get further clarification here, that he's saying that Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu purified me by taking away my deerskin. This is proof that he is all-pervasive and all-powerful and that I am subordinate to him. Vyāpya-vyāpakatve eto kāraṇa. Vyāpya means limited, that which is pervaded, Vyāpaka means that which is pervading everything. So, the Supreme Lord is all-pervading. The living entity is limited, not all-pervading. Right? Sarvagya. Do you have Sarvagya Shakti, all-knowing? The living entity doesn't have this. Of course, when a living entity is empowered by the Supreme Lord, then he can know. Okay. Vyāpya, the pure devotee, about Sukadev Goswami, we understand. He said, like, he's like Paramatma. He knows, he can enter into everyone's hearts like that. So, vyāpya-vyāpakatve eto karan. So, he's saying Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is the supreme and I am living entity. So, this is the relationship. So, further, what is Brahmananda Bharati saying? He's quoting this from Mahabharata. Suvarṇa-varṇo hemāṅgo varāṅgaś candanāṅgadī sannyāsa-kṛc chamaḥ śānto niṣṭhā-śānti-parāyaṇaḥ. So, when we make a statement, we have to substantiate it from Shastra. Same thing. Brahmananda Bharati is saying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. Now he is supporting his statement from Shastra and he's quoting from Mahabharata. This shloka is from Mahabharata. Suvarṇa-varṇo hemāṅgo. Suvarna means gold, Varna means color. Hema is also gold actually, but it's molten gold. Hemāṅga, whose body is like molten gold. Suvarṇa-varṇo hemāṅgo. The complexion is golden, his body is like molten gold. Varāṅgaś candanāṅgadī. Vara-anga. Varanga means vara means most beautiful, right? Very dear. Varanga. Having a most beautiful body. Candanāṅgadī. Chandana, whose body is anointed with sandalwood. Sannyāsa-kṛc, chamaḥ, śānto. Sannyāsa-kṛc. And he appears with this golden body. He appears as a sannyasi and kshama and shanti. Shama. Because a sannyasi is self-controlled, controls his mind and body. So shamaha, shantaha, peaceful. Niṣṭhā-śānti-parāyaṇaḥ. Niṣṭha means, dedication, right? So niṣṭha means continuously performing without any breaks. So niṣṭha, shanti, peace, parayaṇaḥ. So this is the description of the Supreme Lord who appears in Kali Yuga, given in Mahabharata. This is a quote from the Mahabharata's Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra. His bodily hue is golden and his whole body. So Vishnu Sahasranama means 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. So in that, there is a description of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Lord. His bodily hue is golden and his whole body is like molten gold. Every part of his body is very beautifully constructed and smeared with sandalwood pulp. Accepting the renounced order, the Lord is always equipoised. He is firmly fixed in his mission of chanting the Hare Kṛṣṇa mantra. Niṣṭhā. Niṣṭhā in what? Firmly fixed in chanting the Hare Kṛṣṇa mantra. And he is firmly situated in his dualistic conclusion and in his peace. So Shanti. Shanti means, that means the living entity and the Supreme Lord are different. So he's fixed in that philosophy, Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, and in his peace. So this is the description of the Supreme Lord in Mahabharata, and obviously he's a sannyasi and has a golden body. There's only one, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So this verse is talking about Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Eisava namera iha hoy nijaspada chandanakta prasada dora Sri Bhuje Angada. Eisava namera iha hoy nijaspada. All these names, Eisava namera iha, that means with Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, hoy nijaspada. Nijaspada. All the symptoms mentioned in the verse from the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra are visible in the body of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So, whatever is described there in that shloka of Vishnu Sahasranam, golden body, sannyasi, who is fixed in chanting the Hare Kṛṣṇa Mahamantra, who is fixed in his Achintya Bheda philosophy. All these qualities, where do you find? You find here in Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. All the symptoms mentioned in the verse from the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra are visible in the body of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. His arms are decorated with sandalwood pulp. And the other thing is his entire body is anointed with sandalwood pulp, is said. His arms are decorated with sandalwood pulp, and the thread received from the Sri Jagannātha deity, and these are his ornamental bangles. So he said, whatever is there in the shloka, you see, everything is there in Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhattacharya ko hai, Bharati, dekhi tomara jai. Prabhu ko hai, jai kaho, sahi satya hoy. So, Brahmananda Bharati, he went to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and he said, you decide who is right. Because Mahaprabhu said, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, there are two Brahmans. One is Jagannath, one is Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu is saying, yes, there are two Brahmans. One is Jagannath, the other is Brahmananda Bharati. So Brahmananda Bharati turned to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and said, now you decide who is right. Is he right or am I right? You think properly and you decide. And then he pleaded his case. He explained his point. He said the relationship between a living entity and Brahman is that of vyāpya and vyāpaka. Living entity is limited, Brahman is unlimited. And the proof is he made me, he purified me by taking away the deer skin from me. That is why I say he is vyāpaka and I am vyāpya. He is unlimited and I am limited. His consciousness is unlimited. He could read what's going on in my mind and he purified my consciousness. That's why I say he's the Supreme Lord and I am limited. And by the way, that's my personal experience. You see, you cannot establish points based on personal experience. Personal experience, yes, you have that. But you cannot make a philosophical point in a debate and defeat someone based on, you cannot quote your personal experience. Personal experience to your, immediate next dear people, you can just share it. But when it's a philosophical point, you have to always quote from Shastra, Shastra Pramanam. Unless you say from Shastra, your statement will not have that weight. So otherwise, everyone will come with their own experiences tomorrow. They will say, my experience is my Guru is Krishna. Then what will you say? It cannot be that based on your experience, I felt like this, therefore you cannot say that. But that doesn't mean we are negating your feelings. That is there, of course. What is said? Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam. That means Pratyaksha. You can personally experience it yourself also. That is there. So it's not negating your personal experience. But when you make a point, Shastric point, when you make a philosophical point, you cannot say it on the basis of what your intelligence is saying, how smart you are, how nicely you're able to analyze. No, it has to be substantiated by Shastra. Because Shastra means what? Vedas. And in Vedas, and the ultimate Pramana is, the Chakravarti Pramana is Srimad Bhagavatam. If anyone quotes anything from Srimad Bhagavatam, that is final. You quote from anywhere in Vedas, it is final. But if there is, within Vedas also, if you find, like two opposing statements, then who will take precedence? Then in that case, Srimad Bhagavatam is the ultimate. Okay, so Brahmananda Bharati, but all Puranas, like in yesterday's ISKCON Philadelphia class, we discussed this, that all Puranas, Mahabharata, everything is transcendental. Nothing is material because it is coming from the Veda only. Okay. But still, Srimad Bhagavatam is the highest. It is the Chakravarti Praman. And that is established in Shastra Pramanam. How it is the supreme highest. The same author has given, the one who has given the Puranas, Itihasas, given means they are there existing, but he gave in sequence. The last thing he gave is Srimad Bhagavatam. In his, nothing after that. Srimad Bhagavatam is the highest. Like that. Like churning and churning and churning, and from the same thing he's churning and getting the thing out. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam sukham kad amrita drava samnitam vivata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. So Srimad, so you have to quote from Shastra. If you are making any statement, when you quote from Shastra, then your statement is taken as authentic. So Brahmananda Bharati said, he purified me by taking away the deerskin. That is why I say that he is vyāpaka and I am vyāpya, that he is unlimited and I am limited, because his consciousness pervades, his consciousness extends to all living entities, to all bodies. But my consciousness is limited to only my body. This is the difference between the Supreme Lord and the living entity. And then he quotes from Shastra, Mahabharata Shloka, saying this Vishnu, in Vishnu Sahasranam, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu's name is also there. And the description given there, you'll find all those qualities in the person of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. His golden bodied, golden complexion, his entire body is like molten gold. It is, all his limbs are so exquisitely formed, so beautiful. His body is anointed with sandalwood pulp, and everyone is seeing there. He's really proving it. Mahaprabhu is standing right there. And then he said, he's fixed in his niṣṭhā of chanting the Hare Kṛṣṇa Mahamantra, in his philosophy of Achinta Bheda Bheda, Achinta Bheda Bheda philosophy. He's always peaceful, self-controlled. Here he's standing. So what's wrong in what I said, basically, in other words? So you make the point. So hearing this, Bhattacharya kohe Bharati, dekhi tomar jai. Okay, now the judge is saying, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is saying, Sarvabhauma Brahmananda Bharati, I see that you are victorious. That means what you said, you win, you win. Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. So there are two Brahmans. One is, he said Jagannath, the other is Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So his intention is to say that Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Krishna. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is, what is the word? Endorsing it. Yes, what he said is right. You win. Then listening to the Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu saying, Prabhu kohe, Jai koho sei satya hoy. Whatever you say, that is true. That means I accept Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He's the authority. He's the knower of Shastra. He's the great teacher. So if Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is saying, whatever you say, I will accept. That's all. Nothing much on that. He said, तुम जो बोलो वही ठीक है, आप जो कहे वही सही है, like that. जय कहो सही सत्य होय. It must be. Not even सत्य है, सत्य होना चाहिए, होगा. Right? Whatever you say, वही सच होना चाहिए. Like that. Bhattacharya kohe Bharati dekhi tomara jai, Prabhu kohe jai koho sei satya hoy. After hearing this, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya rendered his judgment saying, Brahmananda Bharati, I see that you are victorious. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu immediately said, I accept whatever Brahmananda Bharati has said. It is quite all right with me. So we'll stop there today. It's 4:30 already here. Thank you all so much. I thought I sent the link. I just copied it, but I forgot to send it. That's why you didn't get the link on time. My apologies for that. So we will end here. Sri Caitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Pancha
Kalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhu Bhaiva cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava.
Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.